It's your boy KC Fowler, one half of the Fowlers podcast, host of the Melanin Warriors podcast, bringing you yet another Melanin Queen this week. We're going to talk about the Melanin Queen in Egypt who stood against and actually defeated the Roman army in Egypt, southern Egypt to be exact. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Armanirena, was the second queen of the kingdom of Kush from 40 BC to 10 BC. Yeah, I know it sounds a little weird, but when you go in the BC time frame, it went from 40 down to 10. It dropped instead of going up like we do now. Her rule coincided at the same time as Cleopatra and Mark Antony. She was described as a brave ruler who was blind in one eye. After the death of her husband, Armanirena and her son Akinadad continued their fight. She is one of the more famous Melanin queens because she actually led the Kushite armies against, like I said before, the Romans in a war that actually lasted about 5 years. After Emperor Caesar Augustus actually defeated the Egyptians, he decided to go further south into the kingdom of Nubia. The first battle took place when Prefect Aelius Gaius was absent on another campaign in Arabia in around 24 BC. The Kushites launched a surprise attack with 30,000 troops armed with swords and bows and just, completely just wreaked havoc on the Roman army. You know what I mean? Armanirena herself was one of the more famous archers in her kingdom. The Nubians defeated the Romans at Syene and Phile, Phile. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. Go ahead and hit me in the comments and correct me. But anyway, the description of the Melanin Queen was and her army was simply she was a fierce, one-eyed queen capturing a series of forts in southern Egypt in 25 BC. Her army returned victorious from all these battles with the bronze depiction of Emperor Augustus's head. So they took the head from the statue, and afterwards they actually buried their trophy of Augustus's head beneath the steps of a temple they dedicated to their victory. The severed bronze head of Augustus was actually found in Miro in 1912 and is currently in a British museum as we speak. So the emperor was angered, so of course he had to retaliate, but Armanirena's counterattacked with what was said to be a quick and terrifying attack. There was and there were several paintings and stuff like that depicting her victory. One such painting was of her holding two swords, feeding her captured foes to lions. Sheesh. Hopefully we can find that to go ahead and drop that up in here. But if not, hey, just use your imaginations, folks. They also claim that she actually used war elephants to assist with her victory. So during these fights, she was wounded, and that is how she lost her left eye. And that's how she got her name as, this brave, blind in one eye ruler. So eventually she healed up and she kept on fighting. She kept on fighting. She did not stop, you know what I mean? Which says a lot to me in my mind because most folks will get poked in the eye with a finger and they're done. They're out for the count. You know what I mean? They don't want to play no more. But, this Melanin warrior, this queen, she continued to fight. And next came the Petrina's Nubian campaign, where the Kushites, excuse me again, were driven out of Syene later in that year by Gaius Patronus, who was the newly appointed prefect in Egypt. The Roman troops then advanced far into Kush and finally reached the city-state of Nabata. Although they withdrew from heavy resistance, they left behind a garrison, which, if you guys didn't know, a garrison is roughly 500 troops or so. So he left those troops in Primus, which became the border of the Roman Empire. The Kushites attempted to reclaim this lost land, but Patronus prevented this from happening. So eventually, they were never able to get another foothold in the lands that they lost, and eventually they signed a treaty which lasted about 3 years during this campaign. And Armanirena, it was a favorable treaty, which Kush were never really able to gain another foothold in their lands. And following these events, mediators were sent to Emperor Augustus, and they struck a deal for peace that was very beneficial to our Melanin Queen here, and that involved the Romans evacuating part of the 30-mile strip, which included Primus, and the Kushites were exempt from paying tribute to the emperor. And this right here is really, really, really cool, really dope. You know what I'm saying? Because if you guys know anything about, the Roman times and anything like that, like their countries that they took over, the provinces that they ran, you was gonna pay that tribute. You was either gonna pay that tribute or they was gonna burn y'all out. They was gonna, they was gonna destroy everything you loved and owned if you didn't pay that tribute. So that just shows the respect and the ferocity of this Melanin Queen here, that the emperor was willing to um, go without his tribute from them, and he backed out of some of their land, but he kept the outer boundary or whatever as Roman territory. So this Melanin Queen right here was tough, man. She was the cream of the crop to not only stand against Rome, who practically conquered the whole known world, but to be victorious in battle and eventually brought peace to her people for a time, because y'all know how things went in Africa, but that's a story for another time. Her legacy still lives on with the Nubian people, and this is why this queen is a true melanin warrior. Shout out to all the Nubian people out there. You know what I'm saying? I hope some of you guys are watching. I hope some of you guys hear what I'm saying and want to add to it, because last episode of Bamber Bridge, a gentleman actually knew more about it that led up to the events of Bamber Bridge, and he put me on to some knowledge. So if you guys know a little bit more to add to what I'm already putting out there, let's go ahead and get it out there, because that's what Melanin Warriors podcast is all about. Bringing to light these melanin soldiers, these events that involve melanin warriors to light, because history books aren't doing it. So KC Fowler's gonna do it, baby. You know what I'm saying? So with that, remember, don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. This your boy,